Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Coming up tonight, a man dies in a Freeport car accident. Plus, a woman found dead in Abaco hours after arguing with a man. Plus, a church feeds thousands on Christmas morning. Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Hicks. Topping news tonight, a man is dead after crashing his car into a concrete column near the Jack Hayward Junior School in Freeport, Grand Bahama. According to police, it was around 9 p.m. on Saturday night when the collision occurred, with the blue 2008 two-door Honda Accord bursting into flames.
Our initial investigation has led us to believe that the vehicle was traveling eastbound when the driver, for some unknown reason, ran off the northern side of the road and crashed. On impact, it is believed that the vehicle caught on fire and the fire department was notified. The fire was extinguished, and it was discovered that one male occupant was in that vehicle. Unfortunately, the person, he succumbed to his injury on scene.
Officers had to use the jaws of life to get the man out of the vehicle. His death was the fourth truck fatality in 24 hours. A couple died on Christmas night in New Providence after their vehicle collided with another on West Bay Street. Hours later in Abaco, a man died after a truck collided with a Honda Fit. ASP Alfonso Pinder says last night's victim wasn't strapped in.
We know for a fact that the driver was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the incident. We want to urge, again, members of the motoring public, please to drive with extreme caution and care. We notice now that this is becoming a trend, especially during the weekend, anywhere from Friday to Sunday, where persons are using the streets of Grand Bahama at a high rate of speed. And we want to urge you, please, to drive with extreme caution.
Police also announced that a 21-year-old man who was involved in an accident on December 18th near 8 Mile Rock died on Christmas Eve morning. Pinder continued to urge drivers to be mindful of the times as they're celebrating.
We iterate, we look at the time, we notice the time close to curfew hours. It would appear that persons are in a rush, and we want to urge you, pay attention to your surroundings. We know that this is the Yuletide season. If you're gonna visit family and friends, if you're gonna drink, we say to you, please have someone as a designated driver. Again, we want to say to you, obey the rules of the street, the rules of the road, obey the speed signs, pay special attention to your surroundings.
A woman was found dead in a home in Crown Haven, North Abaco at around 1 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. Police say her discovery came hours after she was in an altercation with a man. She was discovered with injuries to her face. A man is in police custody assisting with their investigation. 45 Haitian nationals came ashore in Long Island, according to that island's MP. Adrian Gibson says the 36 men and 9 women were taken into custody with the help of police and residents. On Saturday, Gibson says their vessel ran aground in Clarencetown, and now they're being held on the grounds of the community center. The local medical team assessed the migrants, and they were provided with face masks, according to a Facebook post by Gibson. Gibson says he expects immigration officers on the island and that a magistrate will come to arraign the migrants on charges of suspected illegal landing. A U.S. Coast Guard helicopter reportedly also assisted with search and rescue efforts. While many have criticized the administration's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, former MP Leslie Miller says government's actually done the best job that they could. Jasmine Brown tells us more.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I asked the question, could anyone have done better than what he would have attempted to do?
Former Progressive Liberal Party Member of Parliament Leslie Miller giving his somewhat surprising take on the Minnis-led government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Since March, when the first case of COVID-19 was confirmed in the Bahamas, the country has been under a state of emergency. Restrictions aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19 have also been in place.
The PM being a medical practitioner himself before his life in politics, I believe that the government, if you would listen to what the government has to say, if you would adhere to the advice of the scientists and those who are in authority when it comes to our health care, I think the government has done as good as anybody else could have done. I can't say anything else that you could have done it.
The government extended the state of emergency to January 31st. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis told the public he has no plans to increase restrictive measures at this time. Minnis also said at the time that the measures they seek to extend merely allow the government to have the legal authority to act in case it needs to use certain measures. Minnis also credited the measures implemented thus far with putting the Bahamas in a position that he claimed is better than many other countries. Miller agreed.
It's easy to criticize, until you're in that driver's seat. And that's why I don't criticize my colleagues on any side, because in these difficult times, you simply must obey the rules.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Opposition leader Philip Davis is defending his track record as the representative for Cat Island. Davis was responding to a reporter who questioned how Davis would respond to criticism that the island was poorly developed under his watch.
I don't know of any resident in Cat Island who lives in Cat Island, knows Cat Island, experienced my representation of Cat Island, will share the view that was shared by whomever you got that in, whoever you would have heard. If you wanted to appreciate what I would have done for Cat Island, just speak to persons who are living on the island. Just speak to them. Friend and foe alike.
Davis was elected as a member of parliament for Cat Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador in the 2002 general election. He has served as a representative ever since. He says if people don't like his service, they wouldn't keep voting him back in.
Cat Islanders are not stupid. They're not silly. Right? Why would they continue to vote for me if I ain't doing nothing for them?
Still to come on our news, an MP is doubtful that campaign finance reform will come to be. And in the age of social distancing, one resort executive says Exuma is well positioned.
Multi-million-dollar fraud allegations put the Deputy Prime Minister's political future and professional reputation on the line. Join me, Christina Dragovich, and the R News team for Year in Review, Monday, December 28th at 8 p.m. on RTV and streaming live on the R News Bahamas Facebook page.
Welcome back. Sandals Emerald Bay is inching closer to its February 1st, 2021 reopening date. The resort opened briefly in July but has been closed ever since.
I think Exuma as a destination, I think is very ripe for when that pent-up demand is able to come in 2021.
Sandals Emerald Bay General Manager Jeremy Mutton says Exuma and other family islands may be well positioned to take advantage of tourist desire for more exclusive destinations.
Obviously, a family island like Exuma, which is kind of made for the physical and the social distancing and everything. So I think the pent-up demand is there.
Resorts on New Providence reopened in December, reporting low bookings. Baha Mar, Atlantis, and the Hilton have all reopened their doors, but limited flight service has contributed to a slightly slow start. Mutton says he anticipates a similar start for the Exuma Resort once things get underway there.
I still think that the business, will start very slowly. We're seeing it very slowly within the last few weeks around Bahamas. But certainly I think the pent-up demand is there. And we are hoping that will actually be to an advantage to Exuma and the other family islands.
Exuma is still under curfew and experienced a lockdown due to a spike in cases in November. The health situation appears to have stabilized considerably on the island. Mutton says staffers were trained during their previous reopening. He says they'll be retrained, and of course, the resort has all of the necessary equipment for COVID safety.
But certainly for a 1st of February reopening, we would be recalling our team during January to again go through all of the training, the protocols that we have as a company, but we already have all of the signage in place, all of the PPEs are already here. So it'll really be a reinforcement, if you like, to the team who have already gone through this before a few months ago.
MP for Eglinton, Glenatana Martin, says campaign finance reform is unlikely before the next election. Berthany McDermott tells us more.
Englerston Member of Parliament Glenys Hannah Martin says she doesn't believe campaign finance reform will come before the next general election, despite repeated assurances by the Prime Minister.
I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think we'll see it, but it's very important. And I've spoken to this issue in Parliament. We have to ensure that in our democracy, that when people vote, they vote with their heart, their soul, their intellect, not because they are exploited.
While speaking to reporters in Abaco more than a week ago, Dr. Hubert Minnis took a non-committal attitude when asked for an update on the matter. However, on the campaign trail in 2017, Dr. Minnis promised that if elected, his government would bring legislation to regulate campaign financing. In early December 2018, Minnis said legislation to regulate campaign finances would be implemented before the end of his term. On January 1, 2020, Minnis told reporters his administration has 7 more years to bring campaign finance legislation and that his government is working on it. Days before that, Attorney General Carl Bethel told the Nassau Guardian that campaign finance legislation is a priority for the Office of the Attorney General and that the Minnis administration hopes to enact the legislation ahead of the next general election.
Well, if he says he's going to do it, tell him do it now. We're back on January 20th. Good time to do it. Don't put it in your next manifesto or whatever you call it. Do it now. And don't do it after you're so close to the elections that it doesn't count. Do it now if you're serious about it.
Hannah Martin said campaign finance reform would help to eliminate the suggestion of quid pro quo in political campaigns. However, she insisted it would take an enlightened people to effect change.
The fact that we have not done it speaks volumes about our democratic process. And the unwillingness of politicians to do it speaks volumes about our democratic process.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
When Our News comes back from the break, hear from the owners of the newest chill spot in Grand Bahama.
Just when you thought the year would end drear, Rev came through with Magic and Holiday Cheer. Our cashback will double, making more spirits rise, with chances to spin and with a dope random prize. The rules are quite simple. You can find them online. Just sign up for Trio and pay your Rev bill on time. Our grocery store dash is sure to bring smiles as 16 lucky winners tear through the aisles. Call 601-8992 or visit rev.bs/promotions to find out how you can win with Rev's Field of Magic giveaway. Rev, you and us, together.
It was not easy navigating the treacherous roads of the COVID-19 pandemic, but things would only get more unpredictable as the Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, was asked to resign amid a global health crisis. To find out how the former health minister feels about his resignation and everything that followed 7 months later, join me, Georgie O'Bain, and the R News team for Year in Review, Monday, December 28th at 8 p.m. on RTV and streaming live on the R News Bahamas Facebook page.
We share our stories because there is power in every story.
There is hope in every story.
There is healing in every story.
Our stories will inspire you.
They will change you.
They will empower you because there is freedom in every story.
Join me, Erlene Camille, and my guest every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. for powerful, revealing, life-changing stories. Journey TV, we share life's truths.
It's the newest hotspot for nightlife in Grand Bahama. Caribbean Barrel Bar and Restaurant recently opened, and while many may be cutting back because of the pandemic, the owner said they're optimistic about the future and wanted to provide jobs for those in need. Julian Gray tells us more.
It's the newest chill spot for Grand Bahama natives. Caribbean Barrel Bar and Restaurant sits on the waterfront overlooking the beautiful views of Bell Channel Bay and brings a unique experience to Freeport's nightlife, according to marketing guru David Mackey.
It is like traveling away without having to go away because you've got the best of the Caribbean right here in one location. So you've got Mexican nights, you've got Bahamian nights, you've got Latina nights, you've got seafood nights, So it really is an experience.
The backlit bar and thatch palm roof help to create an ambience that Mackey says takes the customer on what feels like a vacation. Starting a new business during a pandemic can be daunting, but Mackey says though many are speaking doom over the economy, they're confident that things will soon pick up.
The owner really has confidence in the economy and that things are going to get better, and really in bringing out a unique opportunity for people to experience. And the other part of it is the employment opportunities that have happened for Bahamians. And as you know, as we're going through this COVID situation, there's not a lot of work. And so you've got some 20 plus people who are now employed.
The smooth sounds of the Uppercut Band ring out nightly, providing contemporary and local favorites from Cuba to the Dominican Republic, Mexico, and back to the Bahamas. Mackey said if the music doesn't get you moving, the wide range of liquor certainly will.
From the Dominican Republic, Mama Juana, 2 different types here. And you can look here, you can see the exotic. This one here is seafood. And so there's a lot of exotic ingredients in here that will add to your drive life. And this one here has natural herbs in it. And these are quite smooth. They're very potent. These are from DR, and these are called Mama Juana.
Mackey added that the restaurant, which boasts a large deck, is naturally socially distant, and they have no problem providing a good time while adhering to safety measures. Reporting for our news, I'm Jillian Gray.
Thanks, Jillian. Well, the church feeds 2,000 plus on Christmas morning. That's coming up when our news returns.
This year has been hard on all of us. Many have lost friends and loved ones to COVID-19, which has changed the world and the way we live. From the first case to the second wave, our news has been there with you, and we will continue to stand with you this holiday season,
sharing in your stories of tragedy and triumph. Christmas may look and feel very different this year, but its meaning of love and hope remains the same. From our family to yours, Merry Christmas and a safe and prosperous New Year.
A local church spent Christmas morning feeding Bahamians. United Faith Ministries International hosted Operation Christmas, where Apostle Falman Ferguson says more than 2,000 people were fed.
Is in full motion as we have been planning this initiative to inspire indeed the spirit of Christmas and the joy of giving, as we have had done for Thanksgiving Day, so we are doing today. And our desire is to feed a minimum of 2,500 people from this location today, by God's grace. And our desire is that we would put a smile on someone's face.
Ferguson says giving is the real reason for the season.
The whole idea is to remind people that God is still on the throne. And his desire for us is that we would have faith, hope, and love in this season. And United Faith Ministries here, the fine leadership, the members, and all who are so excited about this initiative today. And I say to God, to God be all the glory for the great things he has done.
Thank you for joining us for Our News Tonight. To catch Our News on the go, download the RevGo Play app. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Jared Higgs. Continue to enjoy your holiday weekend.